If you are a founder, if you are a product manager, this video in particular is for you. So one of the things I love the most about being in this space is that I'm also a user, which means that I'm constantly testing tools. I'm constantly seeing what's on the market just to see where the tide is heading, so to speak. And if there's one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of companies or organizations are not really taking advantage of using privacy as a differentiator. So with the rise of vibe coding in terms of accessibility when it comes to creating products, what we are going to see eventually is a market that is heavily saturated. And so when that happens, you are going to need ways to make sure that you stand out to your customers and to make sure that you really create that trust. And there are a few easy things that you could be doing that instantly scores you bonus points with your users. And privacy notices are just a foundational basic when it comes to communicating with your customers. And I found when I'm testing apps, and if I have to then spend more than 5 minutes trying to look for a privacy notice, there's an instant alarm bell that goes off in my head, which is, why do I need to put in so much effort to look for this privacy notice? Because for me, what a privacy notice communicates is the information that I need to know about what you're going to do with my data. And I'll give you an example of a use case where someone would be looking for a privacy notice, because you might be watching this video and thinking you are, I guess, educated in the privacy space, and that's why you're looking for a privacy notice. Your average customer or consumer might not be very concerned about privacy notices, but I think you would be very surprised. So one of the areas where we're seeing an increase in adoption in AI products is for coaching or therapy or productivity. And so when people are interacting with these AI apps, there's a consciousness that they are sharing, or they might be potentially sharing sensitive information about themselves. And so they want to have certain information or certain awareness about what it is that you are going to do with their data. So if they then have to look for your privacy notice on your website, that means that they can easily just go to your competitor and find someone that satisfies their curiosity when it comes to what will happen with their data. Now, the second thing that you also want to make sure that you're doing is making sure that your privacy notice is easy to understand. Now, what tends to happen sometimes is that if you have a lawyer writing your privacy notice, or someone who comes from a legal background, your privacy notice can be easily filled with legalese or terms that are more accessible to lawyers. Now, you want to think about your consumer base and think about what is the information that they need and how can you present it in the clearest possible way. You want to use simple language that they can access, and you want to answer questions such as, what data are you collecting? Why are you collecting the data? Who are you going to share the data with? And then how are you going to delete the data, or how does that person have control over the data that you are collecting for your app? Now, the third thing that you want to also think about is implementing this principle of data minimization. Do not collect more data than you need. So let me give an example. If I've downloaded an app, right? Let's say it is an AI productivity tool. They've asked for my name, they've asked for my email, you're asking for my phone number, you're asking for my address, you're asking for my weight, you are asking for all sort of data information that does not really relate to your capacity to implement or to give me the service that you need to give me. I think the best way to present this is that you have to think that your consumers are suspicious people. You have to operate from that approach that your consumers are going to be suspicious people, and they're going to be thinking, why does this organization need this much data? And I know it can feel very easy to do a data grab and to think, let me collect as much information as I need to. But a good privacy practice is for you to really think about, what is the data that you actually need to fulfill the service that you are giving these people? And then also just explain why you need the data as well. So in summary, privacy practices that make you stand out with your AI apps: make sure your privacy notice is very easy to find. Make sure that you're only collecting the data that you need, and you're also explaining why you need the data, and your privacy notice is filled with language that is accessible and very easy for people to understand.